Good morning. Welcome back to the Red Mic. Happy Friday. We made it through another one, didn't we? These Red Mic messages are leadership and life lessons I've picked up from 25 years as a public servant, 16 years as a youth football coach and scouting volunteer, and 10 years as a mediocre athlete with far more heart than actual physical ability. Today's Red Mic message: milking the cow, earning your keep. You've heard me say that these things, doing these red mics, I'll be, putting my notes together and things like that, and then, bam, out of nowhere, a pop culture thing will jump into my head. This time it was the movie Arthur. Cannot tell you how many times I saw that movie. In fact, my drink the bourbon buddy, he I we said that almost every situation in life could relate to a quote from Arthur. You must have hated that moose. Um, he's taking the knife out of the cheese. All of those. Uh, don't you hate Perry's wife? Anytime we would run into a situation where we found somebody objectionable, we would turn and look at each other and go, Perry's wife. And we would, silently mouth those words to each other. So when I'm working on the notes and whatnot for today's Red Mic message, which is the cow doesn't give milk, Arthur popped into my head because of the scene with Linda Marola. I'll get to that with a scene with Linda Marola and Hobson. I'll get to that in a minute. But if you remember the movie, the first time Arthur runs into Linda is outside of what is it? Uh, Bergdorf. I can never get the name of the store right. Anyway, Bergman, Bergdorf. Anyway, and she had stolen a tie. And that was really funny because, obviously, as he said, women don't wear ties. It's a perfect crime. That she was stealing it for her dad. But Hobson, of course, rolling his eyes, looking down his, judgmental nose at her and all of that at that point. Another point in the movie Arthur, where he's in the store and he's buying all these sweaters and everything else, and he says, I don't wear sweaters. And then, literally, the very next scene after the scene with Linda Marola where he kisses her and everything else, he's in a scene with his grandmother, Martha, and he's wearing a green sweater. The incongruity of that always struck me as odd. I don't wear sweaters. And then the very next scene, he's wearing a sweater. Almost makes me wonder, is that one of the sweaters that he bought with his dad's money because he was mad at his dad? Anyway, all right, all of that. Back to the Red Mic message for today. Squirrel. The cow doesn't give milk. There's an old story about a father telling his son, the secret to life is this: the cow doesn't give milk. And the kid looked confused and you're like, what do you mean? He said, okay, the cow doesn't give milk. You have to milk the cow. You have to get up early. You have to walk through the muck, regardless of the weather: hot, cold, rainy, snowy. You have to tie her tail so it doesn't hit you. You've got to sit on the stool. You've got to do the work. And that's the secret: doing the work. It doesn't just show up miraculously. You have to earn it. And he wasn't just talking about the milk or the cows. He was talking about life in general. There's too many people out there, and I'm not going to point fingers at any one generation because it goes across all generations. There's too many people out there who believe this false idea that if you wish for it, or if you think you deserve it enough, or you look cute enough, or you're clever enough, things are just going to be given to you. No, life does not work like that. The world owes you nothing. It doesn't owe you success. It doesn't owe you happiness. It doesn't owe you money. It doesn't owe you fulfillment. I repeat again, the world owes you nothing. And if you go through life thinking that it does, you're going to be sorely mistaken at some point. Yeah, you might get by on looks for a while or charm or whatever it is. But at some point, if you don't show up to work for it, if you don't show up early, if you don't stay late, if you don't make failures along the way and adjust and fix them and become better and stronger because of the effort, if you don't keep trying, at some point, there's not going to be any milk in that pail. You want a good relationship, you have to work at it. You want a great job, you've got to prepare for it and be willing to work hard for it. If you want to be strong, physically, mentally, spiritually, you have to push yourself. You have to put in the work. Simple. And unfortunately, like I said, there's far too many people out there that believe this bill of goods that they've been sold, that if they wish for it, or if they think they're entitled, or if they think they deserve it, then it's just going to happen magically. And it's not. Go back to what Hobson told Linda in her apartment when he was quietly encouraging her to go after Arthur, because he saw things happen in Arthur's psyche and his soul just by being exposed to somebody like Linda. He said, "This is a tie you cannot steal. This is a tie you have to work for. This is a tie that you must earn." And he was right. Because again, cows don't give milk. You either milk them yourself or you're going to go without. And that means no cereal. That means no milkshakes. That means none of the good stuff that you want from that milk. So you got to work for it. That's today's Red Mike message. I hope you found it interesting. I hope you found it enjoyable. I hope more than anything else that you take these Red Mike messages and you put them into place in your own life. That's why I'm doing this. Yeah, it's all bouncing around in my head, ADOS, attention deficit, ooh shiny, or ooh squirrel. But at the end of the day, the reason I do these things is because I'm hoping to pass on some of this information. I'm not going to call it wisdom. I'm not even going to call it knowledge. It's just going to be stuff that I've noticed and stuff that I'm trying to share with you. I hope that you're able to put it in place in your life. If you are at all, please give me a like, a follow, and a share. I'd really appreciate it. I hope you have a great weekend. I'm looking forward to mine. It's going to be fun. Until next time, life is short. Drink the bourbon, but only after you milk the cow. I'll see you Monday.